I'm Chris Hansen, right now on Crime Watch Daily from here in New York. A third arrest in the front page Manhattan murder mystery. A privileged former Catholic school indicted. What role did he play in the savage stabbing of Joey Camidale? The cover for the crime.
They threw the body out the window.
Throw the body out the window and all this crazy stuff.
Who does that?
An animal.
You were first to name Max Gemma as a player in the case.
What kind of voice match?
A very good boy.
Now, with 3 men facing charges, the new discovery of bloody clothing. Do detectives know who killed Camidale after a night of partying? Then, a divorced mother of 3 meets a new man online. Falls head over heels.
He mesmerized her.
But after they marry, she uncovers a buried secret about her new husband.
Oh, that's
Started
the
realizing who he truly was.
And he snaps, stalking her with a GPS device.
He knew every place she was, when and where. It was very scary.
Now she's missing. He's under arrest for another horrifying crime.
What was your first thought?
My heart raced a million miles an hour out of my chest.
Plus, she wanted to have a baby using her late husband's sperm.
I was thinking, please be very careful because it's all I have. I can't get more.
Her dream of carrying on his legacy turned into a nightmare. What she says this doctor did will shock you.
What can you tell us about Aaron's sperm? What happened to it?
Right now,
Andrea Eisenser with Crime Watch Daily.
Jason Matera with Crime Watch Daily.
this
I'm Elizabeth. I'm here with Crime Watch.
I'm Michelle from Crime Watch Daily.
Anna Garcia from Crime Watch.
is Crime Watch Daily.
We'll find you again. We always do.
Welcome to Crime Watch Daily, everyone. I'm Chris Hansen. First up today, a major development in the murder case of Joey Camidale. Now, a third person has been arrested and charged in connection to the crime. I just went to his family's home to try and get their side of the story. A dramatic new development breaking in the brutal murder of Joey Camidale in New York City. An arrest, a new suspect, and an indictment. The NYPD arrested Max Gemma, the mystery man in the investigation Crime Watch Daily first told you about. Gemma is the childhood friend and roommate of suspect Larry DeLeon. They were indicted along with their friend James Rackover. How did you hear that your son had been killed?
Well, I knew he had gone missing. And,
My emotional interview with Joy's father, Pat, is heartbreaking. A story I'm close to because we're both from the same town.
What?
Joy went to the city for a night of partying at the posh Gilded Lily nightclub, where he apparently met Rackover and DeLeon. They continued the party at Rackover's 4th floor apartment. Paid for, we're told, by his so-called adopted father, Jeffrey Rackover, known as the jeweler to the stars. Jeffrey took him in, a troubled kid whose real name is James Beaudoin. He has a long rap sheet in Florida for alleged crimes including armed robbery. Joey reportedly got into an argument with Rackover and DeLeon over a pack of cigarettes. Cops say he was stabbed as many as 15 times. His body dumped out the window.
They threw the body out the window.
they throw the body out the window and all this crazy stuff.
Who does that?
An animal. Somebody who was deranged, I guess.
Cops believe Rackover and DeLeon drove Joey's body to a remote area some 50 miles away to Oceanport, near the Jersey Shore. He was lit on fire and buried in a shallow grave. DeLeon reportedly told cops where he and Rackover dumped the body. That gravesite is less than a mile from where DeLeon and Gemma grew up. Max Gemma is key to the investigation. Crime Watch Daily was on to Gemma before cops revealed his alleged involvement. He's the son of a former Oceanport, New Jersey mayor. I went to the Gemma family home looking for him. 2 women came to the door. What does she say about Max's role in all this?
I think he's going to be just a witness.
Can you tell me anything
No,
about
I don't know anything because
where's Max now?
I don't know.
And what kind of a boy is Max?
A very good voice.
Prosecutors believe he was in Rackover's apartment that night, reportedly changed his clothes, and hid evidence. Gemma's lawyer says his client is absolutely innocent. Detectives say luminol revealed bloodstains all over the gory crime scene, which had been exhaustively cleaned.
We recovered about 32 pieces of evidence at the 59th Street location. We have blood on clothing, substantial. We also have bleach. It appears to be bleach on that clothing as well in order to cover up the blood.
Crime Watch Daily obtained the indictment from the Manhattan grand jury. All three are charged with hindering prosecution in the first degree and tampering with physical evidence. The indictment says they used intimidation and deception against a person. Rackover and DeLeon were also charged with concealment of a human corpse. According to the court documents, Gemma had Joey's ID in his possession.
I mean, it's just a heinous crime. I'm sure they're going to get what they got coming to them.
Joey was a good-looking 26-year-old, a hockey star at Hofstra University.
Handsome kid.
Yeah, had everything going for him. That's him playing hockey.
Tell me about that picture.
Such a competitor. Just total waste.
So what happened inside James Rackover's fourth-floor apartment?
I mean, you and I are of a certain age where we know that drugs were out there, and I wasn't a big guy to partake in it, but it's out there. And when you're 27, 28 years old...
Chris, all I can tell you is if you talk to his friends, that's not Joey.
Rackover and DeLeon haven't been charged with murder because cops still don't know who wielded the knife, but the investigation is continuing. Rackover and DeLeon haven't yet entered a plea. Gemma pleaded not guilty. Joey's friends vowed to be in the courtroom when the men face trial.
Every single day we will be there. You have to turn around and look at all of us.
There is no justice for this, no matter what happens to those scumbags.
Pat and his wife buried Joey the day before Thanksgiving. A good son taken all too soon. The victim of one of the most horrific New York murders in recent history.
I mean, I knew he touched a lot of people.
How are you going to get through this?
Well, we'll get through it. We'll get through it. Thanks, man.
Coming up, a woman loses the love of her life, then suffers more heartbreak when her chances of ever having a baby with him are taken away. The sperm he donated before his death missing. Now, Crime Watch Daily goes searching for answers.
Dr. Sadat, what can you tell us about what happened to it?
That's next.
Hi, neighbors. Come on in. Thanks so much for having us over. Where are you wearing those helmets? Oh, we just saved money on our auto insurance by insuring both of our cars with the General. Oh, how about some coffee? This one?
At the General, you can get an anonymous online quote in minutes with low payments and a choice of payment due date. Good cupcakes. Good insurance advice. Get your anonymous online quote today.
You're done.
Worst rate, low rate you can get online.
Thank you.
The General and save some time.
Winter nasal
I told
congestion.
you.
Is it a cold,
real.
sinus pressure, allergies? For all of them,
You did it.
Allegra D, a maximum
You
strength
did.
decongestant plus a powerful non-drowsy antihistamine for
You did it.
24-hour relief. This winter, the answer is Allegra D.
Rise above
Here's one
joint
water.
discomfort.
Not gonna
Move
stay.
Free Ultra's triple action joint support for improved
Only
mobility
water.
and flexibility and 20% better comfort from one tiny mighty pill. Get Move Free Ultra and enjoy living well.
Introducing the Nutri-Ninja Duo. Use the cup for nutrient extraction. And now, snap on the bowl and create your own nutrient fusions for fast, fresh, and easy dishes. Get nutrient extraction and fusion with the Nutri-Ninja Duo.
Sophia, you stopped coming to the cafe.
Let's just say I found something better. With my Ninja coffee bar, I can choose a single cup or a carafe. Hot rich coffee. Specialty price.
The Ninja Coffee Bar, the best coffee house in town, is now on your countertop.
Right when you feel a cold sore, Abreva can heal it in as few as 2.5 days.
Stepped on
When
it.
used
Why
at the
you gonna put it
first
in the
sign,
garbage?
without it, the virus spreads from cell to cell. Only Abreva penetrates deep and starts to work immediately to block the virus protect healthy cells. You could heal your cold sore fast as 2.5 days when used at the first sign. Learn how Abreva starts to work immediately at Abreva.com. Don't tough it out. Knock it out fast with Abreva.
Snowboarder found murdered.
Why?
Two suspects set free.
So what does the DA do?
He says we're stopping the case. Why you don't want to get your day skin off? It's difficult for law
Crime Watch Daily.
Help me with your towel? Yes, your towel, so I can put it on my lap. Go through the
Millions
water
of couples each year use fertility treatments to try and have a baby. But one woman in California says she's been stripped of the chance to have a child with her husband because the sperm he donated before he died is missing. Anna Garcia is here with more.
Yeah, Chris, and as horrible as that sounds, the situation might be even worse because Sarah Robertson's husband suffered from a genetic disorder, and she fears that her husband's sperm may have been given to another patient.
It was her high school sweetheart, taken too soon. Now this widow's dreams of family are shattered once again.
I think it's indefensible. I think it's unconscionable.
She says the disease that killed her husband could be in the wild, and they let it out.
Dr. Sadat, what can you tell us about what happened to it?
Now that illness could be a time bomb with innocent children as unwitting targets.
People don't know that they have this gene that could be lethal.
Theirs was a classic love story. Boy meets girl, boy and girl fall in love.
Aaron was a very intelligent, very sweet person. He just always was that solid person for me.
Sarah and Aaron Robertson were solid all through college, where they planned the rest of their lives.
When you were married, had you talked about or were you planning on having children?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. We talked about it all the time.
But this love story was also a tragedy. Aaron had an illness, one that could worsen as he got older, a condition known as Marfan's syndrome.
Marfan's is a genetic disorder. It affects the connective tissue in your body.
Left untreated, Marfan's syndrome can be a death sentence.
The lethal part of the disease is when it affects the connective tissue in the vessels, especially around the heart.
After several surgeries, Sarah and Aaron are confident that the illness won't take him.
So we went along with our lives thinking everything was okay.
They were wrong. 9 years into their marriage, Aaron has a massive stroke brought on by complications from the disease.
Right away, we were told that he most likely was not going to survive.
Days in the hospital, a comatose Aaron slips away. Sarah says she had an idea that in a small way could keep her husband's legacy alive.
That very morning, I had heard a radio show about women who had stored their husband's sperm, and it had reminded me of a conversation that Aaron and I had about that very thing.
When the time came for children, Sarah would test Aaron's sperm for Marfan's, and if it was clear, she'd use it to have their child.
He would have wanted it, and I was going to do it. Nobody was going to get in my way.
After taking Aaron's sperm that terrible day in the hospital, a heartbreaking choice.
We had made the decision to stop the life support and let him go. It was hard, but I knew I had something to go on for.
Sarah faithfully pays for storing the 6 vials of Aaron's sperm.
And the expectation was that your husband's sperm would be stored properly.
Right. Absolutely. It was, seemed, you would think straightforward.
But 2 years later, a change.
Suddenly, one year, I got a bill with a different name on it.
The lab where Aaron's sperm was stored was sold and moved to a facility called Reproductive Fertility Center, headed by Dr. Payman Sadat.
I was thinking, please be very careful because it's all I have. I can't get more.
When she's ready to get the in vitro treatment, Sarah contacts Dr. Sadat to retrieve Aaron's sperm.
So I called his office in November 2014, and that's when things started to crumble.
Over the course of months, Sarah says the clinic gave her the runaround, claiming it had no records for Sarah. Then, a fire destroyed her records and Aaron's sperm. Then, all but one of the 6 vials of sperm were lost. The last straw, Sarah says, is one devastating email.
So this is a copy of the email that was sent to you. They didn't even bother to tell you in person.
No.
And the email says, "It saddens me to be yet again the bearer of unfortunate news. Unfortunately, as she wiped away the snow built up from the actual tissue vial, she realized that the tissue belongs to another patient with the same first name and very similar last name. I can only imagine how disappointing this will be for you."
Yeah.
How did you take this email?
I stood up and screamed. I was in complete shock.
Sarah suspects it's more than incompetence. Suddenly, the horror of Aaron's illness comes back to haunt her.
What do you think happened to the vials?
I think that there are children or embryos out there, and people don't know that they have this gene that could be lethal.
Sarah never had Aaron's sperm tested for Marfan syndrome. She now lives in fear, wondering if a family has a human time bomb ticking in their child. Sarah hires attorney Andrew Vorzimmer in her search for the truth, and he claims what he found gives reason for worry.
We found that the facility received 6 vials of Aaron Robertson's tissue and sperm.
Sarah's lawsuit alleges Dr. Sadat may have used those 6 vials of Aaron's sperm in other patients. Vorzimmer claims this isn't the first time Sadat has been accused of doing something like this.
I think what we had here was a genetic Ponzi scheme in which he used genetic material belonging to some patients and gave them to others.
Sarah's lawsuit against Dr. Sadat also alleges negligence and fraud, but Sarah says the suit isn't about money.
There's a baby out there, possibly, that could have a genetic disease and may not know it.
They might not know it, and that's the one thing that saved Aaron's life, knowing that he had it, that he had Marfan.
All we asked for is that they notify any potential victim that they were the recipient of Aaron Robertson's sperm, and if not, that they recommend that the child undergo Marfan syndrome testing. They have refused.
Dr. Sadat also refused a request from Crime Watch Daily for a comment. The questions are urgent. What happened to Aaron's sperm? And was it used to make someone else's baby? We went to Dr. Sadat's location in Burbank to get answers.
Hi, Dr. Sadat, Anna Garcia from Crime Watch Daily. We'd like to talk to you about that lawsuit against you, the one that's claiming negligence and fraud. What happened to Aaron Robertson's sperm? Can you tell us how did you lose the sperm? Did you use the sperm on someone else? Can you tell us about your facility and how it operates? Dr. Sadat, what can you tell us about Aaron's sperm and what happened to it? Dr. Sadat?
Sadat let the doors close on any comment, but his lawyer followed up with an email that included this statement. It's not that Dr. Sadat doesn't wish to comment. It is merely the fact that this matter is in active litigation and we have no intention of trying this case in the media.
If your husband's sperm is lost forever, is this the end of your love story?
I always have his memories. I will always have that. My determination and focus at this point is to bring that man to justice and let his patients know, as much as I possibly can, what has happened.
And she wants a baby with him?
Coming up, a beloved librarian makes a shocking discovery about her husband. After their marriage crumbles, she disappeared.
You believe there was foul play?
I do not believe she left well.
Now her loved ones get a possible break they've waited 8 years for.
I think that this is the start to the end.
That's next.
No one celebrates the holidays like Fox Sunday.
Don't worry, Ralphie. I'll shoot
think
you
your
off of
feet
there.
really hot water and salt and water.
Lemon
All the
pantsuit.
skin to soak and wet and come up your feet.
Don't tell my ex-wife.
Susan's.
You got it.
I don't want all the colors
Family
salt.
Guy and the last man on
You
earth.
know what?
I don't want all
Fox Sunday.
Am I really
colors
heavier than you? I gotta take
I don't
control.
know.
Starts at 8, 7 Central, only on Fox.
It's not skin, it's gonna hurt when you step
The
on
most
it.
valuable asset you'll ever own is with you from the beginning. That ability to only ever see the positive.
Stop tickling me.
I'm
So when you're
not.
hung up and it's time to insure your things, just don't forget to protect your optimism.
Stop.
There are many reasons why F-Series is undisputed, 50 years and counting. It's why you don't hesitate to pull more than your own weight. It's how you back up like a pro the first time, every time. And how you know a heavyweight can be right in weight. And in case you needed another reason to own an F-150, now you can get $8,000 in rebates plus $500 year-end bonus cash. Value like this is undisputed.
Are you one of the many Americans who undergo CPAP or BiPAP therapy? How often are you replacing your masks and hoses? Replacing your CPAP or BiPAP supplies every 3 to 6 months is critical for effective therapy. Bacteria can build up, making you sick. And worn-out straps can cause leaks and can be just plain uncomfortable. Let Medical Supply Helpline make it easy. Call Medical Supply Helpline now to speak with an expert agent who will determine which supplies you need and set up a schedule for your fresh brand name supplies to be delivered right to your door right when you need them. Shipping is absolutely free, and you may even qualify to receive supplies at no cost to you. That's right. There's no driving around town or remembering when to order. Call Medical Supply Helpline today and rest easy.
Call 800-604-3556.
Now what?
That's 800-604-3556.
This is in your nails.
I stole from my family, my friends, loved ones, everybody, and I ended up screwing them over.
If this sounds
Not
like
even
you
on
or
your
someone you
foot,
love, then it's time to call the
Yeah, well,
Addiction
your fingers
Recovery
are.
Network. The Addiction Recovery Network ensures that everyone who calls receives the right treatment for anyone needing treatment for alcohol abuse, drug addiction, or dependence on prescription medications. Plus, ARN can tell you if your insurance will cover your treatment.
The people at ARN have the solution for you. I called.
Make the free call
Now what?
now.
Feet in between my fingers and between my toes.
We're back now with the story of a relationship breakup that wasn't just explosive, it was nuclear. But what investigators are trying to find out, did it escalate into something much more serious?
Now what?
Andrea Isom is in Jamestown, New York now with the details. A strange and shocking twist in the mysterious disappearance of young mom Corey Anderson. Her husband, Ken Anderson, just arrested on charges of abducting, raping, and imprisoning a woman he married after Corey vanished.
Those are two serious crimes. If you're not shocked by that, then you're pretty cold.
And now, news of his arrest has given police and Corey's family hope that it could be the break in the case they've been waiting for.
What was your first thought?
My heart raced a million miles an hour out of my chest. I just hope that it leads to maybe getting the answers for Corey. That's my prayer.
If there are leads developed out of this, we will follow them.
It's the latest chapter in a tale of marriage, deception, bigamy, and ultimate tragedy revolving around Corey, a much-loved 36-year-old librarian in the small upstate New York town of Jamestown.
She was an awesome mother to her children. She was a great daughter, a sister. She was a wonderful person.
And everyone who knew her was devastated when she suddenly vanished without a trace 8 years ago.
My world stopped, but everybody else's keeps going. And that's hard. I don't care how old. They're always your babies. I miss her laugh. And I miss not talking to her. Because we were more than just sisters. She was my best friend.
It was particularly hard on Corey's children, who said they lost their best mom in the world.
She was so loving and caring and put herself last in everything. I try and look up to how she was to kind of guide me.
Watch TV.
Anyway.
But there was one thing about Corey her family didn't like, and that was her other half. Ken Anderson, whom Corey met online after her divorce from her first husband, the father of her 2 daughters.
From the very beginning, I had an awful feeling about that man. We never got along. All the memories I have of him, he's always been very controlling and manipulative, very his way. The way he presented himself, I could tell he wasn't true. He wasn't right.
But Corey had fallen in love with Ken at first sight, and they were married within months.
He mesmerized her.
Corey and Ken would have a son, Zachary, now 14, and for a while they seemed happy.
But then it started falling apart. The longer that they saw each other, the harder it got, because I feel like that's when she started realizing who he truly was.
And their marriage would collapse when Corey made a shocking discovery while looking through some of Ken's papers. He wasn't really her husband. He was a bigamist. He never divorced his previous wife, his 4th.
And everything started coming out.
A horrified Corey managed to track down Ken's first wife, Stephanie Anderson, who had married him when she was just 16 and pregnant with the first of 4 children they had together.
To me, with Ken, there's just an evil about him. You look at him and you see evil.
Stephanie told Corey horror stories about her 12-year marriage to Ken, whom she claims would padlock the doors when he went to work in the mornings and leave her captive in her own home.
There was no way to get outside until he came home from work.
She also alleges Ken often beat her and once threatened to kill her.
He had thrown me on the bed and put the gun